I should have died. Taylor on 10 years since forced retirement. It is 10 years since the day that changed James Taylor's life forever. Having been taken ill during a pre-season match for Nottinghamshire against Cambridge University, the England international batter drove back to Nottingham for a hastily arranged doctor appointment he hoped would clear up the issue. I should have died on that journey, he tells BBC Sport. My body is packing up over the course of the next 5 hours. I'm grey and cold, but sweaty too. I'm crawling because I can't walk. I tried to get up some stairs, but my body is packing up, so I'm being sick everywhere. I get into bed in the fetal position, and my shoulder is absolutely killing me. Taylor would soon be diagnosed with arrhythmogenic right ventricular cardiomyopathy, ARVC, the heart condition that forced him to retire aged 26. He had only been completing some throwdowns before the start of play, something he had done hundreds, probably thousands of times before. I'm not even joking. I could physically see my shirt moving from my heartbeat, he says. It felt like I was incredibly anxious, but obviously I shouldn't be. I make my way off the field because I think I'm going to be sick, think I'm going to pass out. I stuck my head down the loo and I'm not sick, but I can't breathe now. This was probably the only time in the whole process that I actually thought I might pass out or even die. On arriving home, Taylor called his doctor, who advised him to get to hospital as quickly as possible. Don't wait for an ambulance. You haven't got enough time, he was told. It was later made clear his body was trying to save his vital organs. They put me onto this machine, and I'll never forget the sound that it made, going at 265 beats per minute, Taylor says. It was also completely out of rhythm, so it was incredible that I survived that. You're meant to only be able to be conscious for 10 minutes of that, and I'd gone nearly 6 hours. They said that what my heart had been through was the equivalent of 5 to 6 marathons. That winter, Taylor had secured his place in England's test side throughout their series in South Africa, having scored his first international 100 at the end of the 2015 summer. The diminutive middle-order batter took 2 sensational catches at short leg against the Proteas in Johannesburg. Some were even talking about the former England Lions captain leading his country one day. I was so focused on keeping my place that I said to the main doctor, who luckily knew and loved his cricket, they just needed to get me right for 3 weeks' time, which was England against Sri Lanka at Lord's, says Taylor, who averaged a respectable 42.23 after 27 one-day internationals, in addition to his 7 tests. I said, honestly at the bedside when I was dying, just get me ready for that game, because I have worked so hard to get to this position, and I have finally cemented my place in this test team. I'm not giving up for anything. Obviously, then he told me that I had pretty much had a heart attack. Not exactly, but there or thereabouts, and that was when I kind of knew that my life was going to change forever. Taylor's retirement was announced 6 days after the initial incident, but he remained in hospital for 3 weeks. He was told his condition, similar to the one which affected footballer Fabrice Muamba, was usually only revealed post-mortem. I had a round table with a load of cricket media and journalists, and they mentioned all my hard work, graft, and what it took to finally cement my place in an England team, and honestly, I just burst out crying in front of them all, Taylor says. It had meant so much to me. It meant so much to so many people, and that really, really hurt, not being able to do that anymore. In the years after his retirement, Taylor channeled his professional juices into golf, becoming a scratch player within 3.5 years. He also worked as a commentator for Test Match Special, and then became a selector with England in 2018. At that stage, I just wanted to do things that I enjoyed and that I could make a difference in, he says. It was an opportunity that I couldn't turn down. I felt like I could make a difference, and ultimately we did. We had a great time becoming #1 in the white ball game and winning the World Cup in 2019. We were also tasked with winning tests away from home, which we did. Taylor stood down in 2022 after director Rob Key, who had just appointed Brendan McCullum as test coach, implemented a new structure. Of course, the job is stressful, Taylor says. If you don't have the right process when it comes to decision-making, and if you let emotion get in the way, or you're not being honest, or communication is poor, that makes it hard, and that can be stressful. But if your process is as good as it can possibly be, it does make things easier, because you've done everything you can to make the best informed decision. You're dropping and hiring players in the elite end of international sport, but you're working with great people, and I was making the right decisions at the right time in my head, so I could sleep at night. These days, Taylor is an assistant coach back at Leicestershire, where he became the youngest batter to make 1,000 county championship runs in a season in 2009. He has an internal defibrillator, has medication for his heart issue, and tries to keep stress to a minimum. Like, if my football team loses, it's not the end of the world to me, he says. I try to have fun with what I do, and I don't get too head up and bothered about things. I wish I was more passionate about things sometimes, and that I could get more riled up about things, but I just don't, and I've learnt not to, and that I can't.